Georgia and Florida are two of the first states to have moved toward limiting liability for certified prescribed burners. And the purpose of doing so is to encourage prescribed burning for resource protection, public safety, and land management. So this move towards gross negligence with some regulations will really allow the landowner to feel a little more safe in being able to burn, that he will only be held liable under certain conditions. And a lot of states have followed suit that have established Right to Burn Act, doing a limited liability for certified prescribed burners as well. So the different civil liability standards are gross negligence, strict liability, simple negligence, and then undefined is a place where you don't have a statute, and usually simple negligence will apply. So under strict liability, a burner is liable for any damage caused by an escaped prescribed fire, regardless of the action of the burner. Under simple negligence, the burner has to practice reasonable care in applying prescribed burn, and that's the level of care that someone else in that situation would apply. And then under gross negligence, if a burner follows regulations regarding burning, the plaintiff in a case against him must show wanton and reckless disregard of the duty of care owed to others by the burner. And that's really a much higher standard. So he can be a little bit careless in the burn and will still not be liable. He will only be liable if he or she shows wanton and reckless disregard. And that's a much higher standard. And that is increasingly becoming popular in states that are enacting Right to Burn Acts. So basically, gross negligence is an incentive to try and promote burning in the state. And so in a lot of times when you have gross negligence limited liability, that'll apply only to certified burners, and other burners in the state will be subject to simple liability. And this is an incentive not only to prescribe burn more often, but also to get training and become certified so that you're eligible for this lower liability. And this shifts the burden of liability away from the burner and onto the neighbors to some extent. So whether this is a good thing or not is questionable, but when you are trying to accomplish a lot of the goals that these acts are trying to accomplish, like limiting fuels and promoting ecosystem services, I think that the Right to Burn Acts recognize these are important enough that we should shift that liability away from burners to promote prescribed burning.